Let's get to Theo Von. And so there were two interesting moments. The Gaza one. You want to set this up?
Yeah. So there was, Theo Von went viral a few weeks ago. Getting to kind of tears talking about the genocide in Gaza, and he's like, guys, we just cannot not talk about the fact that this is being done on a daily basis with our tax dollars and with weapons that we're buying. This is an unconscionable thing to be happening. So when J.D. Vance, it was announced that he was going to appear on Theo Von's podcast, there were questions like, is Theo Von going to press him on this? Let's see. And he did. And so we can watch a little of that exchange.
It's the sickest thing I think it's ever been televised, basically, if you consider watching something on your phone being televised. Sad, man. It feels like a massacre, and it feels like, I've called it a genocide. Other people have different thoughts about it, and that's fine, right? And I don't need anybody to share the same thoughts, or you two. But I think where it gets scary is that we give, we're complicit in it because we help fund, like, military stuff. And that's where as like a regular guy, you're like, well, I'm paying these taxes and they're going towards this, like, but you can't do anything, like you can talk, but it's like, you can't, I don't understand how it becomes like tough for people. Like sometimes it feels like we look out for the interests of Israel before we look out for the interests of America.
So let me say a couple things. So number one, like, I think you're a great dude, so we don't always have to agree on everything. Do I think do I think it's a genocide? No. And here's the reason why I don't think it's a genocide, because I don't think that the Israelis are purposely trying to go in and murder every Palestinian. I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they got hit hard, and I think they're trying to sort of destroy this terrorist organization, and war is hell, and that is true. I also think it's true, man. I mean, I've seen people on my side of the political aisle. I'm a Republican, you know that, but your audience may not, who will see these videos of these innocent Palestinian kids and say, oh, well, they had it coming to them. No. Like if you have a soul, your heart should break when you see a little kid who's suffering, which is why we have the policy that we have, which is we're trying to eliminate the conflict, eliminate the source of the conflict, so that we can actually bring some peace and some humanitarian assistance into people. And that's my basic view.
So after that, Saagar, Theo Von comes back with something that might even be more damaging to kind of both parties long term, but also the Republicans, where he says, Theo Von's like, I don't know, man. It just seems like sometimes we care more about what's happening in Israel than we do what's happening here in the United States.
Empirically true.
And J.D. Vance says, basically says Trump is trying to end the conflict.
Which is a popular message and actually interesting, and not necessarily one that we would have seen under
working tirelessly.
the Biden administration. We're working tirelessly.
Working tirelessly to end it.
It is funny. I saw a lot of leftists very upset about this, and I was like, is there a single Democratic politician other than AOC or Rashida? Has AOC ever said the word genocide? I actually don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Fairly early on.
What? How many are we talking?
Not
here?
many.
4?
Yeah,
four elected Democrats. So any person with national ambitions who would have been asked that question from the Democratic. In fact, I mean, if you ask Richie Torres, you would probably get an even more warlike answer.
God.
From something like this.
He's the kind of person that's attacking Trump for even
He would say, you're an
to end it.
anti-Semite. Yeah, he'd be like, you are anti-Semitic for saying the word genocide. So progress, maybe. I mean, like I said, it's funny. Everybody focuses on the Peter Thiel thing or whatever. I'm like, I think Israel is probably the issue most where you see a lockup of discussion is on this issue. And that is one where, when I saw that answer, like, it's sad, to see. But also, do I expect literally anything else from Donald Trump, Miriam Adelson, freedom giver, vice president? I'm like, well, that's politics. I always. By the way, he actually has always been weirdly pro-Israel, which I find
Who, J.D. Vance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so, which I find genuinely mystifying. It's like Israel is some force of benevolence and balance, in the region. I don't really know how you get there.
Did he serve in Iraq? J.D. Vance?
Well, I mean, as a what is it called? A public information officer. But he was deployed to Iraq for a year.
Yeah, I wonder if something happened there. That,
what would happen? I mean,
I don't know. Well, maybe like a real contempt for like Baghdad or something, a real hostility for the people there, and then you're like, well, at least the Israelis are like attacking. I don't know.
But then you would be, who's the guy who wears the IDF uniform in Congress? What's that guy's name?
Mast?
Yeah. But then you would be like a Brian Mast figure and be like, actually, it's good.
Right.
Who's the new congressman?
Randy Fine.
Randy,
good
yeah,
Lord.
right. With the Israeli flag
We should
behind him,
nuke
where he's
Gaza.
like, we cheer this
Yeah.
on every time we see a dead Palestinian kid. I don't know. I mean, look, within U.S. politics, especially in the broad spectrum of the bell curve or whatever, like, I guess we're just going to say it's a positive. But I think that the cultural positive coming out of this is to have a Theo Von-like figure out there who is willing to say something like this. And if he's going to use his platform, at the very least, ask. That's another thing. I saw a lot of attacks on Theo for not. And I'm like, look, guys, Theo Von, like, we're expecting him to litigate the Israeli-Palestinian. It's like, what are we doing here? Okay.
Yeah.
All right?
Take what you can get.
You take what you could get. The fact that there's even like a level of criticism. Also, if we're going to normalize this, and broadly, I think it's good to have politicians go on these shows. Yeah, every once in a while, you're going to get a wild card question like that, because this is where, unfortunately, they're not actually giving enough credit to Theo. That word would never even be uttered in a CNN interview.
Oh,
ever.
NPR?
Never, right? So it's like, look, we're at least in some net positive territory here. I understand people want to, have a big back and forth or whatever. Right. It's like, but I still think we're a long way.
Because the real political problem for him is to confront that question. You're America first, but you seem like you care more about Israel.
Correct. Yeah.
Did you see we had a win, by the way?
What is it?
There was a piece of a resolution to condemn the Boulder terrorist attack.
Okay.
Which is great. Condemn that. Terrorist attacks are bad.
Yeah.
They wrote into it the terrorist shouted "Free Palestine," which is an anti-Semitic slogan that calls for the destruction of the Jewish people. Which then, if you vote for it, you're affirming the definition of Free Palestine as an anti-Semitic slogan. We reported on this. It went viral. Code Pink kicked into gear, and they pulled it out. And they passed the resolution just, condemning the
Yeah, but didn't the
attack.
IHRA resolution just become law? Is that fake news? What am I thinking of?
It went under Biden. It became law, basically. Yeah.
But didn't it just get reafirmed or something like that?
I'm sure that they're reaffirming it constantly. There might have been another resolution saying how wonderful it is.
Yeah.
But so the fact that they could have passed it, yet they took it out, because I feel like there is at least some sense among both parties' leaders that people are losing their patience for this stuff. That, what do you mean you're going to tell me that Free Palestine is legally now deemed to be an anti-Semitic slogan? It's just too ridiculous.
But that is where I do see, like, some of this Theo Von, Tim Dillon, Rogan.
Right.
I'm not sure I've heard anything from Shane Gillis but I watch these people closely just because I'm like, okay, like, where's the brosphere kind of going in this regard? And there is a general acknowledgement. They're like, yeah, this is pretty weird. Like this, like the laws and the level of
like you're not allowed to boycott
government force, against Mahmoud Khalil or any of that. But I mean, arguably, what's even crazier, I think, than the deportations is at the highest level is like the full force of this quote anti-Semitism task force, basically setting the rules and regulations at different universities, and then making it, the policy of the United States government the way that you teach history at Harvard University.
Right, yeah.
That's nuts, at a federal level in particular.
Yeah.
And then using it without applying. I mean, it's a different thing to say we're going to withhold federal funding if universities violate existing law on the Civil Rights Act. That's like a long-standing thing, or against it, whatever, discrimination. I think that's fine. And if states want to get involved with the way that their public universities are, I've had a debate here before, be my guest. I think states who are, like the University of Virginia, University of Texas, and all these other places, these are state institutions which should generally be governed by the state legislatures and others with the input of their constituents. But at a federal level, coming in over the top on some of these private institutions, that's where it just gets totally crazy.
Right.
And I think people can see that very clearly.
Yeah, they ordered basically the Middle Eastern head of the Harvard's division to be fired. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's crazy.
The fun thing, the fun thing about the Theo Von interview is it happened just as the Musk-Trump war was breaking out into the open. So we can actually start with D2B, this tear sheet from the Washington Post. They have interesting reporting that Trump knew J.D. Vance is headed to this Theo Von interview, so he knows this is going to come up, and he said, be cool. don't go too hard on the poor guy.
Yeah, I'm still parsing this.
Now,
it's weird.
While J.D. Vance was going to the interview, and while he's in the interview, Musk continues to turn the heat up. Like, by the time he's like in the interview, he's calling for his impeachment and talking about the Epstein files. So when Trump gave that recommendation or that directive, he hadn't gone quite to the DEF CON that he eventually did. But let's roll a little bit of Theo Von and talking about Epstein and Elon and Trump here. D2.
Elon Musk, and you may have heard of him.
I've heard of him.
Time to drop the really big bomb, right? And I thought this was going to be on Iran.
So it's funny, I haven't even seen.
Right?
I haven't even seen this one.
But he goes, at real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. This is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Nice signature from a South African DJT.
Man. Well, here's my basic reaction to like all this stuff is look. First of all, absolutely not. Donald Trump didn't do anything wrong with Jeffrey Epstein. Like, the guy is, whatever the Democrats and the media says about him, that's totally BS. Here's my basic read on it. First of all, I'm the vice president to President Trump. My loyalties are always going to be with the president. Mm-hmm. And I think that Elon, he's an incredible entrepreneur. He's actually done, I think Doge was really good. This sort of effort to root out waste, fraud, and abuse in our country was really good. And look, man, I'm always going to be loyal to the president, and I hope that eventually Elon kind of comes back into the fold. Maybe that's not possible now because he's gone so nuclear.
First of all, let's talk about the material, the substance there. Why would Donald Trump not be? Like, it was one of his best friends.
According to Epstein.
Yeah, according to Epstein,
yeah.
Donald Trump's one of his best friends. There's the image of him and Epstein together, or whether they're laughing. And,
he likes him young.
And Trump said in an GQ or whatever it was, Jeffrey Epstein. And it was a statement. You could tell it was like one of those dictated statements that he gave where he's like, Jeffrey Epstein likes him young, but he loves to have a good time.
I said this yesterday. I wonder if you agree with me. I'm like, I don't think the conspiracy is about Trump. I think it's about Mossad. I think that's why they won't release the Epstein file. It's so obvious, considering a lot of the quotes and all of that. I mean, I'm sure it probably doesn't make Trump look good in terms of some of the, Ghislaine and Epstein were both Mar-a-Lago members. And who knows, maybe the Trump organization or whatever had invested with Epstein or vice versa or something like that in the past. Would not surprise me considering everything is out there. But I still think that's the number one reason why the vast majority of the stuff has not yet been released.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad you did. Yeah, I mean, that's one where I'm just seeing this all like morph online. I'm like, guys, no, it's been the same the whole time. Like, we've seen the original reason why it wasn't released or why he was given this sweetheart deal, from federal prosecutors was literally, they said, intelligence. That's the entire reason behind it. And now Kash Patel just basically changing his entire story on a dime the moment that he becomes the FBI director. And be like, don't you think I would give it to you if I had it? And it's like, no, actually, no. Do I think that the FBI would lie to me? Yeah, yes. About an intelligence asset? Absolutely. That's the most believable thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Before we move on, we got to do the funniest one.
Oh, yeah.
This is not even going to teach.
This may not even translate because a lot of our audience is not nearly as online as we are. But there is a great
segment. This is how online are you test.
Yeah, this is how online are you test. And here we have an incident where Theo Von's producer has a person muted. JD notices this and is like, who do you have muted? And then he bursts out laughing whenever he sees. Let's take a listen.
This is interesting.
Pull it up. Let's see it.
This post is from an account you muted. I'm curious. Who did you mute?
Who is that guy?
Is that yours? It's one of your producers.
Ian Mullis Shank. Oh, it said Trump should be impeached and J.D. Vance should replace him. Dude, that's one vote.
Oh, my God.
If you don't know.
If success in life is not being online and failure is being online,
if
Theo
you don't know who
passed.
Ian Miles Chong is, I applaud you.
You win.
You have won in life.
We have lost badly.
Yeah,
we got routed a long time ago.
I'm deep in Ian lore. I've known Ian, or known of Ian for probably.
This is a Malaysian. If you don't
10
know him,
years.
he's a Malaysian provocateur.
He's a Malaysian provocateur. He does not live in the United States.
But has many thoughts about the United
States of America. Literally constantly posting videos. One of the most proliferate Elon reply guys. Probably makes thousands of dollars a month on Twitter off of this new verification scheme. Definitely a major Elon fanboy. There are open questions as to whether he's ever been to the United States of America in the first place. I still think it's weird. I think you and I have talked about this before, that he cares so much about America. It'd be like if you and I were talking about Jolo all day long.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like, let's get, 1 MDB. Let's go, Ryan. Let's just be obsessed with Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur's internal politics. It's totally nuts.
People be like, what's this guy doing?
Well, it's like, what is this guy doing? Like, why does he care so much? He doesn't even live, you're not even from here.
Yes,
it's like the meme, like you don't even go here. You know, what is happening? So very, very funny moment just to show you
J.D. Vance
online.
clearly extremely online.
I mean, he's the first millennial, vice president. So that is certainly what you get.
All right, guys, 2 quick things. Number 1, by popular demand, we are bringing back the monthly subscription. Number 2, you can get a month free, Ryan, by putting in that promo code BPFree at breakingpoints.com.
Yeah, and I think the most important reason to become a premium subscriber is just as an act of support for the show. It helps us do what we're doing. But if you're curious what the benefits are of doing it, take the free month, and you'll see you get the AMAs, you get the second half of the Friday show, you get the full show emailed to you earlier. It makes your life much better. Do it for a month at breakingpoints.com. BPFree is a promo code. And if after a month your life isn't dramatically improved, you can just cancel. If it is, it's just $10 a month.
There you go.